After the chaos in the ancestral hall finally settled, Li Qiye returned to rest peacefully within his villa on the solitary peak. He spent his time quietly cleaning and reorganizing the deserted place until it began to breathe with life once more. The 13-year-old boy sat back, completely relaxed, as his gaze drifted far into the distance. He was simply waiting for the upcoming ancestor ceremony in 3 days to officially claim his title as the prime disciple of the cleansing incense ancient sect. For a normal mortal, reaching this height was a monumental achievement. However, for Li Qiye, whose soul had been trapped within the dark crow and drifted through time for millions of years, this was merely a tiny stepping stone. The tranquility of this peak was only a facade, as the hidden currents of the cultivation world were quietly forming, ready to crash into him at any moment.
The peaceful silence of the solitary peak was abruptly shattered when the figure of Nan Huairen appeared at the end of the walkway. The junior disciple was rushing frantically, half running and half walking, heading straight toward Li Qiye's villa. His face was visibly pale, etched with deep panic and overwhelming tension. Normally, Nan Huairen was the clever and resourceful manager of the outer courtyard, always handling problems smoothly and with a smile. For such a well-connected and composed person to lose his bearing meant that something truly catastrophic had occurred. It was an event that could severely impact the future of the cleansing incense ancient sect and directly threaten Li Qiye, who had just secured his new position. Nan Huairen could hardly wait to deliver this crucial news to his senior brother.
Upon reaching the villa's courtyard, a breathless Nan Huairen immediately bowed deeply to Li Qiye. Panting heavily, he urgently reported that the sect's elders had demanded the prime disciple's presence in the grand chamber at once. The atmosphere instantly thickened with tension. Yet, sitting comfortably in his chair, Li Qiye showed absolutely no signs of panic or surprise. He remained perfectly still, his voice smooth and calm as he asked if something major had happened. This unnatural composure caught Nan Huairen off guard, but he dared not hide the truth. Nodding seriously, the junior disciple revealed the shocking reality to his senior brother. The 9 Saint Demon Gate had just sent a formal invitation to their sect.
With a grave tone, Nan Huairen explained that the 9 Saint Demon Gate was no ordinary force. They were one of the most powerful and massive sects in the Grand Middle Territory, holding absolute rule over the Old Ox country and possessing the authority to grant royal titles. He detailed this extensively, hoping Li Qiye would grasp the sheer terror and influence this behemoth held over the outside world. Then, Nan Huairen dropped the most concerning news of all. He revealed that Li Qiye's fiancé, hailing from the 9 Saint Demon Gate, specifically wanted to test his abilities. The sudden mention of a fiancé and a demanding trial was the exact reason the elders had urgently summoned him to the Grand Chamber.
At the mention of the word fiancé and the 9 Saint Demon Gate, Li Qiye paused for a moment. His eyes shone with a profound depth, as if piercing through the dense fog of time itself. That calm gaze concealed memories spanning millions of years. Unconsciously, the corners of his mouth lifted into a faint, gentle smile. The name of the sect had awakened ancient, dormant memories hidden deep within his soul. Nan Huairen, assuming Li Qiye was ignorant of the sect's history, hastily tried to explain its background. Little did the junior disciple know, Li Qiye understood the 9 Saint Demon Gate better than anyone else in the world. The entire foundation of that sect's supreme glory had started by his very own hands.
Vivid images of a bygone era flashed clearly in Li Qiye's mind. Nan Huairen passionately explained that the founder, the 9 Saint Virtuous Paragon, was once the #1 general under their own immortal emperor Min Ren.
The paragon had followed the emperor to sweep across the 9 worlds, vanquishing all enemies. Back in that golden age, when the cleansing incense ancient sect ruled an invincible ancient kingdom, even a powerhouse like the 9 Saint Demon Gate had to regularly pay them tribute. Listening to this grand history, Li Qiye merely maintained his soft smile. Of course, he knew the sect flawlessly. He had personally met and intimately known the true nature of the 9 Saint Virtuous Paragon in the flesh. Diving deeper into his ancient memories, Li Qiyi recalled the early days of the Emperor's era. To pave the grand Tao path and build an unbreakable foundation for Minren, Li Qiyi, then in the form of the Dark Crow, expended immense time and energy. He meticulously laid traps and cornered the great demonic beast known as the 9 Saint. He applied relentless pressure and used every cunning tactic to force this arrogant monster into submission, turning him into Minren's ultimate fate protector. Without the Dark Crow's brilliant scheming, the glorious birth and rise of the 9 Saint Demon Gate would never have existed in the annals of history. Their legendary success was a masterpiece crafted entirely by Li Qiyi's design. Pulling his mind back to the present, Li Qiye asked about the origins of this mysterious fiancé. Nan Huairen explained a sacred ancient pact forged in the era when immortal Emperor Minren received the Heaven's Will. The 9 Saint Virtuous Paragon had sworn an oath with the cleansing incense ancient sect. If one sect's prime descendant was female and the other's was male, the 2 factions must unite through marriage. This holy promise had bound the 2 powers together since the dawn of their history. Even though an eternity had passed without any intermarriage between the sects, the unbreakable vow of their founding ancestors still technically loomed over them today. Li Qiye muttered softly to himself, vaguely recalling that the old chicken actually did have a female disciple in the past. Not catching his quiet words, Nan Huairen continued to explain that in this current generation, the prime descendant of the 9 Saint Demon Gate was indeed a woman named Li Shuangyan. Most intimidating of all, she was born with an innate king physique, an extremely rare and overwhelmingly powerful talent. In the eyes of the world, she was the flawless, radiant daughter of heaven. The prospect of such an exceptionally perfect woman being forced into an ancient marriage pact had become a massive dilemma in their current political landscape. Nan Huairen let out a heavy, despairing sigh. He bitterly compared the fates of the 2 sects for Li Qiye. In the ancient past, the cleansing incense ancient sect stood at the absolute zenith, forcing the world to look up to them. But after 30,000 years, everything had drastically overturned. Their glorious sect had crumbled into a weak, declining shadow, losing their kingdom and power. Conversely, the 9 Saint Demon Gate had thrived and expanded into a terrifyingly dominant force. With Li Shuangyan possessing a king physique, the vastly superior Demon Gate would never allow their most precious heir to marry into a failing, withered sect. A marriage that once was a profound honor had now become an unacceptable insult to the strong. The deep anxiety and absolute gloom were painted clearly across Nan Huairen. He sharply analyzed the harsh reality. The 9 Saint Demon Gate's sudden invitation to test Li Qiye was nothing but a calculated excuse. Their true hidden motive was to completely destroy the ancient marriage contract. They were fully aware that the new prime disciple possessed only a mortal physique, a mortal life wheel, and a mortal fate palace, making him a perfectly ordinary human. He was utterly unqualified to stand beside a genius with a king physique. Nan Huairen felt completely hopeless, knowing this trial was specifically designed for Li Qiye to fail miserably, thereby granting the other party the perfect justification to cancel the engagement. However, after digesting this immensely oppressive and terrifying news, Li Qiye did not show a single trace of fear or anxiety like a normal mortal would. Instead, a soft chuckle escaped his throat. His posture remained entirely relaxed, his expression embodying absolute coolness.
That makes things a little more interesting, he casually remarked. For a being who had weathered millions of years, the trial that Nan Huairen viewed as a catastrophic crisis was merely the opening move of a tiny board game. He had faced death, battled alongside immortal emperors, and conquered far greater obstacles. A petty test from a sect he had personally helped establish was nothing worthy of his concern.
Nan Huairen could only stare at Li Qiye in absolute shock and total bewilderment. He was utterly amazed that a 13-year-old boy could listen to such crushing news, prepare to face a colossal giant of a sect, and still remain this deeply composed. Any ordinary person would have been paralyzed with terror. Yet Li Qiye carried himself with the unshakable aura of an ancient royal noble who had experienced the rise and fall of worlds. His demeanor completely contradicted his young age and frail appearance. This profound, icy calmness made Nan Huairen realize that this mysterious senior brother might harbor secrets far more terrifying than anyone could comprehend.
Li Qiye confidently stepped into the solemn and sacred ancestral chamber. Before him sat the 6 elders of the cleansing incense ancient sect, their faces dark, strict, and unwelcoming. Every eye locked onto the young boy. None of these elders favored the seemingly useless Li Qiye, but desperate times forced their hands. The sect desperately needed the 9-saint demon gate as an allied in-law to survive their encroaching enemies. Clinging to a microscopic shred of hope, they prayed he wouldn't be completely useless. The first elder spoke with a cold, mocking tone, promising that if Li Qiye could miraculously pass this impossible tribulation, the sect would reward him handsomely.
Surrounded by crushing pressure and cold stares, Li Qiye simply gave a light nod and an elegant, unbothered smile. He spoke politely, yet with absolute authority, declaring he was very willing to undertake the trial, but he required 3 conditions. Slowly, he raised 3 fingers into the air. The moment the words left his lips, an elder erupted in fury, standing up to point a trembling finger at the boy. "Impudent! You dare to negotiate in front of the elders?" he roared. The tension in the grand chamber peaked to a boiling point. But Li Qiye's blatant defiance proved he was not there to be used as a desperate pawn. He was there to dominate the entire board.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up to show your support. And if you don't want to miss out on more fun stories or great insights like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we drop a new video. Thanks for watching until the end. See you in the next one. Bye for now.